Hey guys, if you're watching this video, you're probably trying to figure out how to replace the engine in your 2017 Chevy Cruze with 1.4 liter gasoline engine. This vehicle only has 57,000 miles on it. I got the other engine right over here. 1.4. It's actually quite a small engine. I'm a firm believer that if I pull this engine mount off, maybe the intake manifold, possibly the turbocharger in the car, I can pull this thing right out the top. Can't really see, but there's probably about 5 inches clearance between the engine and the frame rail over on this side. I believe I'm gonna have enough room to slide it over, lift it up. I might just have to replace this, remove this cowl here. And I'm thinking we're gonna get this job done today. Also, this engine, I believe, has 3,000 miles on it. Got to go ahead and make sure we get the battery disconnected. It's back here. This was already like this. I'm not sure if there was a cover or anything. You definitely want to make sure it gets put in a position where it's not going to flip back up. And we're going to leave the trunk open because I'm pretty sure it needs battery power to open. Unless we do this, I could put a towel there to keep it from closing, but I'm just going to leave it open. Some carnage. That's what most people like to see anyway, right? And I almost got this upper pan off. Just got to work it a little. We have fallen debris. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. Look at that. Got a snap ring from a piston. This looks like a piston. Oh, now I got to take this plastic cover off. Oh, that's definitely a wrist pin. Nice. Guess we'll just start with this bolt. Nice. Kick this oil pump over a little. And we just missed that. Okay, there's some more. Oh my goodness. That is a rod. Broken. And it's a little messed up. Let's see if we can get it to crank over. And a little bit more in the pickup tube. Alright, went ahead and got the belt off. Now I'm going to pop the alternator and starter off. Probably don't need to take the alternator off, but it's really not that bad. There's plenty of room. And starter's got to come out, probably because it connects the engine to the transmission, and if not, it's just gonna be out of our way. So there's a bracket here for the starter and alternator, and it looks like the alternator might just have one bolt on top and 2 on the bottom. The nut for the power and the plug there. I'm also gonna pull this compressor. Wow, 1 bolt here, 1 bolt on the side. Looks like there's another on top. I'm probably gonna have to take the nut off, then the stud, because I'm going to just push the compressor forward and to pull the engine forward. So, all right, we got that stuff. We're gonna go ahead and pull the caps off these windshield wipers, pull these windshield wiper arms, pull this upper cowl off. I believe there's a bottom cowl there. Wow. We're gonna go ahead and pull this intake off, this charge tube, and there's a charge tube on the turbo that goes to the intercooler. We're gonna disconnect that and we'll be right back. Okay, so we got our air intake out. We got that whole shroud off back there. We got our charge pipe off over here. Next thing we're gonna start working on, probably going to disconnect the engine harness. This big loom here goes with the engine. If you follow it, it goes here to this plug, this second plug, into the fuse box. Oh, also this third plug, probably a ground right here. Yep. And then this plug here that's going to go on the engine. I did disconnect this. Looks like it goes to the brake booster. We can just park that over there. Park this coolant line over here so I can get that charge tube out. And yeah, we'll get that stuff done real quick. We're gonna go ahead and pull these 3 bolts to move this fuse block out. More than likely, that's what we're gonna have to do to get this undone. Okay, never mind. You don't have to do all 3. You don't have to undo all 3. Just undo this one, and this plug will come out. That's how this plug gets held into the fuse box. You do have to undo these 3 clips. The side will pop up. There's 2 clips on this side. Undo that. And I just pulled it up. Done. There is a fuel line right here, it looks like. And these water lines for the heater core. And this coolant line. I think there's a coolant line down there. But yeah. Okay, I went ahead and I had to take all these coolant lines off. I was hoping to just take this off so I could get this out here so I can get access to the bell housing bolts. But this hose clamp and this hose clamp are extremely hard to get, even if you have like the special claw tool that's like on a long cable. So I just went ahead and removed those bolts, and then there's a tab holding this bracket in. Now I can get to those top bell housing bolts. I got the harness flipped over. I did have to undo the shifter just to get a little bit of clearance so I can move this shifter easily. And now I think we just got torque converter bolts, bell housing bolts, and this motor mount, but we're gonna wanna support this engine before we do that. So we'll do that next. Okay, so again, our alternator and our starter is out. Bell housing bolts through the starter go into the transmission. So those are the bell housing bolts on this side. The oil pan's off, so that would be these 2 bolts. You got a stud or a bolt here and a stud that goes through here. I went ahead and took the nut off, then ran the stud out so I don't get interference when I'm going to pull it up. I just don't want to get stuck on anything. It was real easy. And pretty sure all we need to do is go up top. And now take note that there's a transmission mount here, but there's nothing holding up in the front. So once I undo the engine and start to separate it, the transmission is probably going to want to lean this way, unless that top mount on there. But I'm just going to put a jack underneath of it to support it, and I'll let it down to see if it holds it. But yeah, I think we'll be okay, but we're going to check it out. And what I thought earlier, that is definitely the intake pipe for the water pump. So it's definitely not leaking from there. It's just oil leaks from somewhere. This mount for the engine, the bolt is down here on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that while I'm down here. And then all I have to do is undo those top ones up top. Well, of course, I need to support the engine, but. And she's out. Had a little accident with the torque converter getting stuck inside the crank here, but shouldn't be a big deal. But we got it out with ease. And now Will's here. Oh, there's your face. Now Will's here. And he can help me film some stuff. But basically, we have a pretty good crack here from the rod. You guys already saw what was on the bottom. There's another hole here. Can you see it? Yeah. So basically this is the new 3-cylinder. Like it was a 1.4. I can only imagine what it is now. I guess just divide that by 4 and then subtract 1.
So it'd be 12, 1.2.
Would it be? Hold on. So we did the math. It's a 1.05 liter now.
I did the math right. You just said the wrong displacement.
Well, I'm pretty sure I said 1.4, but we're gonna go back and check that out. All right, got the engine out. On this table, already took the engine harness off. Started disassembling this engine. Sorry I didn't get that on video. I was tired. I took a nap. I got behind. Will wouldn't get working when I told him to.
That's full of crap.
What's full?
I didn't start.
You didn't. I said get out of the couch, and what did you say?
I said.
You wouldn't get up, remember?
Yeah, but you wouldn't get up either.
Yeah, I told you I needed your help to get up, and then you wouldn't get
He
up.
proceeded to make him get up.
Anyway, so I do need to get the turbocharger off of this engine. It looks like I just need to take the coolant lines off, this turbo return line, this feed line, and once I take this heat shield off, there's 4 bolts that mount that up, and this actuator, these vacuum lines, this line, all come off in one piece. Yeah, there's a bracket down here. So once I get that off, then I can start assembling everything, and that'll be when I get back. So.